Hello, I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films. I got a few notes for you before the show. First, I want to thank you all for watching. We couldn't do what we do or the amount of things that we do without the support of you, the viewer. If you want to support us financially, which we always appreciate, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us continue this and all the things that we do. I want to give a special shout out to our $25 supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. Second, I want to let you all know that we here at Final Show Films are planning a little get-together up at Gen Con this year. That's August 2nd through 5th up at Indianapolis. We're going to be up there just sort of hanging out, enjoying the con, spending time together, and if any of you guys want to come up and say hi, please feel free. We don't bite unless you want us to. And if you enjoy whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to, be sure to check out our website at finalshowfilms.com, where you can find links to all of our other content, both podcast and video. And be sure to follow me at John A. Bates on Twitter for more updates on all of the content we're creating in the future. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Breakverse. I am Aaron, your GM for this D&D 5e game, and I'm going to turn it over to Jack for character introductions.
Hey everybody, my name's Jack, and I play Ragnar Einherjar, the Dwarven Paladin of Conquest.
And Navarre?
Hi, I'm Navarin, and I'm back playing Alistar Amaran, the half-elf bard.
And Kat.
I'm Kat, and I am playing Ska, the wood elf barbarian cleric.
We are missing Jeremy today because he's busy being a responsible adult and doing work.
Boo!
We wish him well with
Yes, we
the
do.
dangers of being a news person at all times. Yeah. So, last time on Breakverse, our party fled away from the Mind Flayer prison that they had previously woken up in, and had encountered several things in the tunnels, discovering new things about their allies along the way. Most recently, encountering some strange, probably a puzzle that solid, smooth rock cubes that seem to be able to be moved around this room, presumably some sort of pattern or alignment of these opening up an exit or revealing some information, given that this cavern seems to dead end here. But before we get back to that, one of the party members is not with this little discovery mission. Alistar.
Huh? Where am I? What's going on?
Yeah. Okay. So you sort of wake up rather suddenly. You feel like you have been standing up for days, possibly longer. Your legs kind of ache, and you're coming out of this sort of fuzzy state of not quite being sure what's around you. As you look around, you seem to be in a large cage. There's several other people also here, seemingly having a similar experience of blinking, looking around. You can tell that this contraption is suspended. Outside of the bars, it seems like you're in a cave, and below you there is some sort of strange glowing blue liquid in sort of a pool pond. Are you guys on the correct screen?
Yes, I think we are. Because I can see pretty much exactly what you just described.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all.
The last thing you remember is, if you choose for your character to remember this, Ragnar had been doing some wall carving and on a strange rune that you guys had found, and determined that damaging it was potentially dangerous. He was trying to carve it out of the wall.
Yeah, that seems recent enough.
Yeah, it was literally from your chronological perspective 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, no, I think I remember that. Marvelous. I never thought I'd say this, but I missed the other one. What was his name? Ian. Yeah, definitely. Ian. Yep. I miss Ian.
The
No.
others in this area kind of all three of them seem to be giving you strange looks. Specifically, there's 2 human women and 1 woman who her features appear elven. It's hard to tell given that she has a hood over her head.
Sorry. Where are my manners? I'm Alistair Amaran. You've probably heard of me. Don't worry. No need to pretend. Who are all of you? I don't know any of you, do I?
One of the human women with long red hair, and you notice some sort of large string instrument attached to her back. It looks like maybe a portable harp, something similar. Chloe, I don't believe we've ever met. And I'm afraid I'm not familiar with whatever exploits you think are so notable.
Oh well, don't worry. That's easily remedied. Wait a minute. You wouldn't happen to be some sort of musician, would you?
I am indeed.
Marvelous.
Yourself?
Do you know where? Indeed, I am. With several. Mostly though, these days I seem to be a man of words. Not particularly many or few, just words. Where are we?
I don't know. She looks to the other 2, both of whom give variations on a shrug. The other human woman speaks up. Lorette. I remember I was, inviting myself into a hoard of treasure, and then... Well, we don't need to dwell on that.
Oh. Marvelous. Always happy to meet people with particularly light fingers. And who are you? You there?
The elven woman kind of gives you a short glare. Helena. No. A lady of the 12th continent, with the silver blade, heeds in the holy trinity of color. Friend.
Pleasure to meet you, my lady. So no one knows where here is or how we got here?
Chloe gives you a shrug. I certainly don't.
Well, I was having dwarven issues before I ended up here. How likely do you think we are to all die, sort of very, very soon?
Chloe will sort of look out. I think it may depend entirely on how dangerous whatever that stuff is. And almost on cue, the chains holding this cage up start to lower.
Oh, wonderful.
Ah, the old pit of acid trick. Alistar's probably an old hand at this one.
I mean, my instant response is to attempt to leave.
Okay. How do you want to do that?
How big is the cage?
It's about 4 squares by 4 squares, so 20 foot by 20 foot.
Okay.
It's not small, but the bars are thick enough that, or dense enough that you can't squeeze through them necessarily.
Okay. So the first thing that I would try and do is make a bit of room from the other two in the cage, take Chloe by the hand, lead her over to the side of the cage so I'm far away from the other ones, and thunderstep.
Okay. Yeah. You Thunderstep allows you to take someone with you, correct?
Yep.
Believe
Alright.
so.
You Thunderstep, I'm assuming not into the liquid, but outside of it, correct?
Yeah, no, let's go with like somewhere not in the goop.
Alright. That seems like a smart plan. Yeah. You land outside. Chloe kind of brushes herself off. You do notice the cage actually kind of shakes and from side to side a bit, and both Laureate and Helena sort of grab onto the side to steady themselves. It's not terribly well secured.
Interesting. How high is it?
It's about the same height as it is wide, so...
I have a theory. But this requires me to know something about how teleportation magic works.
Sure.
So you know how in Portal you keep momentum?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing?
To an extent. In general, how I rule it for something like Thunderstep or Dimension Door especially, is that it's a balance of your athletic ability and your control, whether or not you manage to successfully maintain your momentum. Because spell casting itself, you often have to stop or heal.
Okay.
Less so for bards, but make sense?
Yep. So I'm actually going to burn all my spells here. I'm
I've got a
going to
theory that
leave
it's a
Chloe there,
demon,
take a
a
running
dancing
start,
demon. Something
and
is
when I
about
get
that.
far enough
I've
away,
got a
I'm just
theory.
running in a
Thinking he's
direction.
dreaming.
I
Everyone
thunderstep
else stuck inside his record,
into
Broadway
the cage
nightmare.
until I hit the wall.
We should work this
Okay.
out.
It's getting eerie. What's this?
I'm just gonna say make me an acrobatics check just to try and
It could be
aim
witches,
that
some evil
correctly, 'cause
witches,
it's a little
which is ridiculous,
challenging.
'cause witches, they were persecuted,
17.
wicked, good and love the earth and women power, and I'll be
Yeah.
over here.
I've got a theory.
You hit
Could
the
be
wall of
funny.
the cage and send it swinging.
I've got a
Okay.
It's cute like everybody supposes.
I don't have time to flip a coin, ladies. One of you's going to have to keep swinging, the other one's going to have to come with me.
Helena will just grab your hand and shrug.
Thunderstep when I get far enough
Yep.
away.
Yeah. The cage is big
Um,
enough that you can do that pretty easily.
And now I've started it swinging, I'm going to pull my rope out of my pack and try and throw it into the cage.
Make me I'm gonna say make me an unarmed attack roll.
Okay. Is that just an attack roll without proficiency? Is that a strength roll?
Yes, it's your attack roll without proficiency.
Can I use strength or dex?
It's strength because it's a melee thing without a finesse weapon.
16.
Okay. With a 16, you easily enough manage to get the rope around the... It's not perfectly secured, but it's probably stable enough for your weight.
A little help?
What are we doing?
Tie the rope to the cage. Trust me, I'm an adventurer.
Laura, I have never heard a less convincing sentence in my life.
I know, it's
Including,
great,
we
isn't
promise
it?
we won't execute you for killing the queen.
Sure.
But she will tie the knot.
And then I get I'm like, ladies, and then I start pulling the cage towards us.
Yeah. Okay. With the three of you, you manage to get the cage at that angle. It is continuing to slowly drop during this time.
Okay. If I let it go, will it swing far enough that she can, like, climb out? Or is it closed on top?
It's not closed on top. It is just pretty tall. It would depend on her ability. You can definitely get it so that she has a shot. And she seems to understand what you're planning. You gonna try?
Yeah.
Alright. She needs to make her roll, because...
Bum ba dum bum. Bum ba dum.
Tip to GM, always anticipate that your NPCs are going to have to roll.
Always.
Okay, that's a 20. That works. Yeah. She sort of
I
does
attempt to, like, catch her, and she flattens me.
No. Actually,
okay.
So you attempt to catch her, and she sort of makes this climbing dive out of the cage, does a slight flip in midair, uses you as a springboard to do one of those perfect 10 landings, just using your shoulders for the extra momentum and swing. Jeez.
That's exactly what I meant to happen. Well done. Great.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Alistar. You're a pommel horse.
All right.
I mean, let the record reflect that Jack referred to my character as a stallion.
I mean, he's not wrong.
What happens now?
You're in a fairly large open cave, kind of reflected on the map. We'll all have a look around as well.
Looking back to the ladies, I'm like, I trust that counts as a suitable introduction.
Pleasure to meet you, Alistar. Or Laureate will say. Chloe will give like a little half clap. I'm more interested in the music, but the rescue is appreciated. Now, what is that stuff?
I don't know. We should probably find out.
Given that it seemed like they were whoever had us here was going to dunk us, I suggest not putting anything us in there right now.
I would agree.
Helena will pick up just some rocks off the cave floor and toss them in. They seem to.
Slight addendum to that previous one. When I turned around and asked if that was a suitable introduction, I activated my cloak of billowing.
That's what it's there
I
for.
do
Get
still
that in
have
there.
that. I'm so happy.
Just had to get.
Yeah. Yeah. The rock seems to sink into it. It's hard to see through the liquid as it is actively glowing, but... Well, it doesn't catch stones on fire, which we kind of knew because it was in a stone basin, but... Hey.
Well, has anyone got anything that we could, I don't know, like a glass vial or something? We could collect some, or something we could. You know what? I'm actually not that bothered about what it is. I just want to get out of here. I'm gonna go look for things to get out of here, ways to get out of here.
Okay. Make me an investigation roll.
Oh, good.
Alright. Yeah, with a 14, the cave itself doesn't seem to have any obvious exits. However, sort of off to the side. That's right, I didn't actually put anything on the map to represent this. You do find...
Theater of the mind.
Yeah. You do find kind of a moderately sized pit that just seems to go down. You're not exactly sure to where. You do also notice some rail tracks that you can't exactly tell where they leave the cave, but that seem to be embedded into the side of one of the walls and the floor where it slants. So there's a pit you can't see the bottom of, and some rail tracks you can't see the bottom of.
Wonderful. Go back to the ladies. Anyone have any ideas? I'm not really the planning or the ideas type. I more sort of just go on instinct and that whole thing.
Yeah, well, my people believe that understanding why one is in a place, especially a place they are unwillingly, is key to determining how to leave and dismantle the oppressors.
I definitely like what you said. I don't think I understood it, but it was good.
She'll switch to Elven for a moment. You fucking idiot.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chloe will. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it'd probably be nice to know why the fuck we were in a cage getting dunked in magic goop.
Oh, is it magic?
I'd assume it's
Ooh.
glowing.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I wonder if she has that spell. Yes, it is. It is a spell. It's on her spell list. She'll sort of she won't pull off that. She'll pull a flute out of a small side pocket and start to play it. And after one action, so not that long. After a few notes, her eyes start to coalesce with this kind of golden magical energy that, Alistar, you recognize as a casting of Detect Magic.
Ooh. So what is it?
It's some sort of abjuration. It's definitely magical. I would say fundamentally magical, given how strong it is.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, well, I've actually seen not this, but something like this before. When I was, well, it doesn't really matter. I had this guy's dagger, and it had something that kind of looked like this in the hilt. It was like in a little glass vial in the hilt. Couldn't ever figure out what it did, but he was very upset that I did. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That is not relevant to the story. There was a dagger with some of this in a glass vial in the hilt. That's the relevant part of the story.
Ah, interesting. You sure it's the same stuff?
I mean, close enough.
Interesting. I wonder what it's meant to do. Actually, you know what? I've probably got like something in my pack that I can use to like scoop some of this, right?
Yeah, I assume that with health potions being a thing you have used at some point, you have a vial or two on hand.
Okay, I'm gonna take a couple of vials of it,
Okay.
carefully, and just take it with me, and then continue looking for a way out.
Yeah, it takes you a little time because you are being careful not to dunk your hand in the stuff.
Yep.
But you get about 3 vials. By the time you notice 2 things while you're doing this. One, you notice that the rocks that you are sort of standing on to do this, the ones on the very edge of this pond, are slightly warm. You also notice, probably once you've finished this process of getting several vials, that the first vial you got, the one that's presumably cooled down the most, has started to solidify and looks very much like, again, if Alistar still remembers, that rock that Ragnar was chipping away at.
Okay, that's interesting.
In its solid state.
It's fine. Don't worry, ladies. Everything is fine. I've just remembered. I don't know how long I've been out for, but what I can tell you is that, with some serious certainty, is that my friends are coming to save me. So they'll be coming to save you too.
Well, that's always good to hear. You think we should stay here and wait for them, or get moving?
Oh, definitely not. We should get moving. Have you been saved by my friends?
What are your friends' names?
There's now you're asking.
She's from Canada. You don't know her.
Rogan. There's definitely Rogan. He's the short one, very angry all the time. Rogan. I know this. I do know this. I know this. One hand in jar. That's it. One hand in jar. Rogan, one hand in jar. And then there's Tic Tac. He's always very fresh. And then there's Cut. I think that's her name. Cut. Yeah, that's it. Cut. There were some others.
Next time Ragnar levels up, he's taking a level in Rogue so that he can have an alternate identity as Rogan One Hand in Jar.
I was actually gonna say, at some point when I don't feel like actually prepping the story of this game, we just do a one-shot with Alistar, Cut, Tic Tac, and Rogan One Hand in Jar.
Yes, please.
It'll be like that episode of
I
Pinky and the
enjoyed
Brain
Cut
where you
for
see it all
Scott.
from Pinky's point of view. It'll be amazing.
I love that he remembered Scar as Cut. It's just beautiful.
No, I've never been saved by your friend.
No, we should definitely get moving. Yeah, it's a very messy experience whenever anything happens around them. Lots of killing, lots of blood, lots of yelling, a few other things which we won't go into right now, but maybe later. Maybe later.
Okay. Anyone got thoughts on where to go? Helen will gesture. Do you want to just throw ourselves down the garbage chute? Or, sorry, that's Laureate. Fucking NPCs.
Keep a break, sweetheart. What an incredible smell we'll discover. I don't know. Like I said, not an ideas person. I will just throw myself in a hole though if that's the only option.
Okay, so...
Oh, sorry, we're still talking about escaping, aren't we? Never mind.
Laureate will sort of flip a dagger around in her hand. How about this? Rails lead somewhere. So maybe they'll lead to whatever her fucker did this so we can stab him a few times and demand compensation for our emotional trauma.
You would get on very well with my friends. Let's do that.
In that I don't like being in a cage without
No.
my explicit consent.
No, the stabbing part.
Well, the stabbing's just a vehicle for getting paid by people who don't know they've employed me. That part isn't relevant. Ignore that part.
What part?
Oh, I like you. And do you head with them on the rails, or do you want to?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I'm staying with
Yeah.
them. They're fun.
Is this the first time that Alistar has been solidly on the rails?
I mean, I woke up in a cage.
Yep. The lot of you travel for probably a few hours. It's a little challenging because this is clearly not a route designed for people to walk on, so you occasionally have to use the cart rails as like handholds. This is clearly more designed for some kind of vehicle to latch onto and move at speed. But yeah, after quite a bit of walking down in this cave, you find yourself coming out into another fairly large cavern. This one, you all descend from a hole in the ceiling. You see large amounts of abandoned mining equipment and several of what Alistar may or may not still recognize as these runes that seem to have been... There's quite a few of them splattered throughout the room. They're all identical. But they seem to have been essentially carved out from the stone surrounding them and not touched themselves. Yeah. You are all climbing down from the ceiling into this room. At which point, we're going to swap over to Ragnar and Scott because I went on a little too long there.
Works for me.
No worries.
So, Ragnar, Sky, you are in a different cave because the Underdark is entirely comprised of caves and offal. With some puzzle stones.
Oh man.
Now,
You can now move them all.
Sweet.
having seen the shapes on these, is there any correlation between writing and these symbols as far as Ragnar's concerned in this setting? Because they look like letters to me, as a human who speaks English, but to a dwarf...
Yes. I mean, they don't look like Dwarven, they look like Common.
Okay. Maybe we have to spell
But yes,
something.
I generally rule that Common equals English in a one-to-one explicit yes context.
Okay. Cool.
So the question is, what do they spell? I have an idea, but I don't know if it's right because it.
I have a feeling
I don't
that if
think
it's
it's
wrong,
right.
nothing will happen, or maybe something might. But sure, let's shift these around. Which ones you need where?
Well, let's see. Let's start with the one Click Clack is next to you with the T
Alright,
cross-looking thing.
drag it over here.
Okay. And then, is it a 4 or a backwards 4? I wrote it down last time as a backwards 4.
They're all accurate now. They may not have been perfectly modeled the first time I did this.
Okay, so it's a 4, not a backwards 4. Okay.
Maybe it's a Y.
Let me change that in my note. Okay. So the T and then the O looking one.
The wee little circle.
Yep. And then the R kind of C looking one.
This one.
The curvy one.
Alright.
Yep. And then
And
the
just to
zigzaggy
see,
one.
just to see how he's doing. Not terrible.
I was gonna say I'd be
You find
helping
that
you.
these are unusually easy to move. They're hard to climb on top of, but
Right.
moving them doesn't strain you too much.
And then this one. That was where I was going the first time when I first wrote it down, because in my brain it kind of looked like the word torch. But now it's not exactly that anymore.
Though, Ragnar, you get the sense that these are also rotatable.
Yeah. Alright, well,
But yes, nothing happens at this
nothing
time.
happens there.
So let's try
What happens if
turning
we...
that one around.
That doesn't say anything.
I was never very good at puzzles.
Alright, well, let me see what we've got here. Maybe you don't need all of them. Maybe it's a bit of a switch around thing. So if we drop this one out of there, and this one out of there, and we put this one here, and then we swap this one up there, and that one over there, and this one here, then we've got a word.
Yeah?
Fireballs happen in the room.
Oh, you have no idea how fucking tempting that was. No.
Ragnar just spelled the word hot.
Yeah. I deeply apologize to the people watching who cannot see this because, yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out a way to make that.
It's We are not the right people for puzzles, or at least I am not. And without Jeremy here to even try and help, this is going to be very
No. If Click
hard.
Clack was here, then it would also be charades as well as solving a puzzle.
But
You're
I can
fine.
deal with the charades much better.
All right. You have tried
All right.
one thing.
We tried
You
one
seem
thing.
to be on to something, though not currently the thing.
Okay, let's try this one here, and this one like that. Changing the to make out TON, moving the zigzaggy to be an N.
I know. I see what you're doing there.
No.
But what if you did this one here, and then that one there? Click clack, get out of the way.
Click Clack gives an indignant squawk.
And then we've used all of them. Maybe we need to muddle this one a bit.
Yeah, and as you rotate that last one into
North.
sort of a more...
That works. That's a word.
Yeah, more correct alignment. Sort of, the room slightly shakes, and one side of the wall, directly in front of wherever you place the word, sort of caves back, forming a pathway, deeper into the cave, shaped entirely out of shadow.
Ragnar looks at the blocks, looks up at the door, and then sort of coughs and... My brother'd be so proud of me.
And Scott looks at you, bends down, and gives you a kiss on the top of your head.
Alright, well, let's see where this goes, eh? You lot, come on, catch up! That's back to Maywin and Zhao and Sylvester and Amabel.
Yeah.
All of the people.
Yeah. Yeah. Zhao when whispers something to Sylvester, he gives her a eye roll, a shrug, and seems to exchange some coin with her.
Zawin was
That's
betting on
beautiful.
me.
Probably.
And
alright.
Maywin, again, Ragnar flinches at the volume of your voice, even though you're not speaking that loud. Just reflexively, before she also stands up. And you're for beginnings of an army in the largest possible quote marks.
Yes.
Hashtag my army.
I love our little army. It's great.
Hashtag Rogan's Army.
Yes. I support this.
Yeah.
The army of the jar.
And we're going to quickly cut back to Alistar as you
Alright.
climb out of this rail arrangement from the ceiling.
Yeah, and so then I jumped out the window and ran. Why is everyone looking
Kind of
at me?
seems like all your stories end with your partner and you in not so happy a position.
Well, I was on my own for that one.
I'm just saying you're not selling yourself all that well. You gotta talk about your accomplishments and leave off the part where they inevitably go wrong.
Oh, I just thought it was really funny. Okay, fair enough. Well, in that case, I'll tell you about the time that I saved my whole party from a dragon.
Oh, this'll be good.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
So, is there anything you want to do in that room, or are you just gonna try and head onwards?
Is there anything I see? What's
Yeah,
available?
so you're coming out of the ceiling, and this seems to be where the carts are and where that mining rail ends.
Mhm.
You see a lot of abandoned mining equipment. You see these runes that seem to have been somewhat carved out of the wall.
They look the same, right?
They look the same, yeah. And you can tell now, potentially more than you could before, that they have some depth to them. It seems like they just extend looking the same further and further into the wall.
Okay. So these here, one of these runes is one of was whatever I think Rogan was messing about with before before I ended up in the cage. So presumably that knocked me unconscious, which means that they must be around here somewhere.
Okay.
So I guess we keep looking.
All right. Yeah. Okay. There's the cave extend. Actually, she'll roll that. Well, it does look like one group of maybe 5, 7 came through this way recently.
7? 7's a lot. I don't think I remember that many people. Maybe they also made friends.
Yeah, or these people might know where your friends are.
Yeah. Well, let's follow them.
Okay.
He said going in the opposite direction. No.
He says and walks the other way.
No, it's up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alistar does know which way feet point.
Especially when it's been directly gestured to him by the person who made the tracking roll.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, she has no bonus to, and made an
Hey.
18. So, you know.
Good for her.
Hey.
So,
This group is
Wait.
worryingly competent. What do I don't feel like I fit in.
so with Laureate's assistance, the group of you head onwards. Chloe will start to hum some tune or another at some point. And about at this point, Alistar, you make your way into sort of a large cavernous room, where you can see a sort of archway of shadows on the opposite side of the wall. Some big square stones arranged roughly in a line.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 members of your party, if you still recall what they look like.
Oh, hey! It's my friends! Hey, everybody! Whoa! There's more
Sorry,
of you than there was
that's
last
the
time.
Yeah, Alistar. Good of you to show
Hello.
up.
Well, good.
Don't
Don't
worry.
have to find him
I'm
now. He's found us.
What?
Well, we were escaping from prison and looking to find ourselves an exit. And we weren't entirely sure where you were.
Oh. But you were looking for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd remember Click Clack.
Who? Oh, yes, of course, definitely.
Caw, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, click clack can say that if you would like.
And that's the voice it sounds like, too.
Let me introduce you to my friends. We heroically saved ourselves from being dunked in some weird goo that I've got samples on so that we can try and figure out what it was and why I was being dunked in it. This is Chloe. She likes music. Chloe, these are my friends.
Ragnar, I'm here. Click Clack and Ska.
Are you like leans in? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Did you have another one of your episodes?
I don't know what you mean.
No, you're fine. You're fine, lad. And these are our friends that we discovered on the way. This is Zawin and Sylvester, Miss Amabel, and young Maywin. I have to whisper around her because I touched a glowy bit of something or other, and it makes it sound like I'm shouting in her brain all the time.
Huh.
And he
Alistair,
shows you his
do notice
thumb.
That, Ragnar's thumb has a slight glowy tip on the end.
Not like ET level, but
Of
slightly
the same
glowy.
color as that stuff that you guys were about to be dunked in.
Okay, then. So it seems to be all about this stuff, then, doesn't it? Sorry, I will also introduce the other people who I, the player, have forgotten the names of.
It's fine. Here's a pro tip. Everyone's name should be visible to you guys.
Not on the
Not
NPCs.
Just
Oh,
Zawin.
now Zawin is.
Yeah, we can see Zawin.
Anyway,
There
We're
we go.
gonna fix that because Eric fucked
I
up when making the token.
I introduce the rest of the people I was in the cage with to the rest of the group.
Pleasure to make
you
your
introduce
acquaintance.
the elven woman, and when you go to introduce Laureate, who's the one who's been always like, "Don't worry about that," halfway through her sentences.
I introduced
notice
the elven
that-
woman as her full title, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, sure, he can remember their names. Oh,
Yeah.
Wait.
I haven't lost sight of them for more than a
So true.
Object
That is
permanence.
entirely fair and consistent with everything Alistar has done.
Yep.
100%.
Can you see everyone's names now?
Yes.
We're
Except
still
for-
missing one.
Except for the
Oh.
girl in
The
brown.
one next to Chloe.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. Pro tip
There
for
we
people who use Roll20: hit the save changes button. It will save you so many redos of the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, Alistar, as you turn to introduce Laureate, you notice that she is no longer there. She seems to have disappeared, and you're kind of looking around for her. Let's see.
Well, she was here a minute ago, but I guess now she's not. So that's a thing. She was real, though.
Okay.
Ragnar looks at Helenana and Chloe for confirmation.
They're both kind of looking around. And let's see if she actually pulls this.
She's here to
Out of
assassinate
character
one of the
question.
people.
Are we still in this mirror universe or not, or do we not know?
I think as far as
To your knowledge, you haven't found any way to leave.
Okay.
Or you don't, like, none of you have actively left or made, or, yeah.
Okay.
And Ragnar
So,
is pretty sure because he
Alistar would
used the
know,
amulet.
being a bard, this is a very extensive pocket universe, if it is a pocket universe. Like, pocket universes usually have very specific boundaries. They're usually the size of a building or a small town at best.
Mirror Shore.
Yeah. You know that you've been across a fair bit of distance.
I know when I've been tangoed.
So that's a little weird for a pocket or mirror version of something.
Okay.
in an alternate dimension.
Ragnar, I'm assuming a 26 hits you.
Yes, it would.
Okay. As a woman who, none of those of you who were in this room, so Scott and Ragnar, Click Clack is also here. just now see her as she lands a dagger essentially into Ragnar's back of Ragnar's neck.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, hey. That's not cool. What?
The
7
fuck?
piercing damage and 13 also piercing damage because snake
So
attack.
20 damage total?
20 total damage, yep.
Okay. Cool. None of that! Do we need to
Hey,
roll
Bob.
initiative, or...
I mean, that's up to you. You might wanna.
Wait, she said, hey, boss?
Yep,
Anything else?
that is exactly what she just told you. She seems to be coming around with the other dagger.
I got an
Alistar,
11.
No longer got.
You've made some lovely friends. I'm
Who are you
getting in
again?
on this initiative.
Nicely done.
21 on initiative. Heck yeah.
Laura got an 8, I think.
Yep.
Yes, she did. But yes, that is what she just said. So
Okay.
she's still got the end of her round because she got a
Surprise.
round on
Yep.
you.
Mhm.
26 also hits.
Yep.
7 piercing damage.
Another 7. Okay. And right.
No hard feelings. As she sort of slices at you with 2 daggers. All right, Ska.
All right, I'm gonna come on over here.
Okay.
And try and hit her with a greatsword. I'm not
Yeah,
raging
make your
just
attack
yet.
roll.
It's a 14 to hit.
So you slice down with the sword, and she just nimbly ducks out of the way, angling closer to Ragnar.
And I'm actually going to rage after the fact because I'm weird like that. So yeah, I'll try and hit her and then I howl and go into a rage.
Do you have multi-attack?
I
You should.
do have extra attack, yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah. Extra attack is what they call it.
Extra
I
attack, the PC version of multi-attack.
Indubitably. Yes, I'm going to now try and hit her again with the greatsword.
Okay.
Now that I'm raging, so that's rage and greatsword. 17 to hit.
Again, she just barely ducks out of the way.
And Scott will just kind of stare at her and kind of like growling under her breath.
Up.
That is my
Okay.
turn.
Alistar, your turn.
I feel like this is unnecessary. We should probably not do this right about now. What the hell, man? What the hell, Lorette? I saved your life. Come on. I know he's short and annoying, but jeez. Stop it. Stop it. No. Stop it.
I'm so glad this is how Alistar comes back.
Most of the NPCs seem to be watching for a second to see what the fuck. Click Clack also seems a little confused at the moment. Or something. I don't know.
Huh?
Suggestion.
Arr?
Stop trying to kill my friend. Suggestion.
Okay.
Come on, fail that
Yeah.
wisdom save.
Can be charmed.
And Lorette presents as human, right?
Lorette presents as human as far as you
right,
can tell.
as
Yes.
anybody-
The other one was an elf.
Right. Halanana was an elf.
Alana was an elf. Is an elf.
Is an elf.
Has a stupid elf name. Okay, with a natural one. Fuck her.
No, I'm not into that.
You know exactly what I meant.
That's not what
But yeah,
suggestion
she
is
seems-
for.
Well, actually, it's hard. You can't tell until it's her turn, but
Yeah.
she's still sort of giving that appraising smirk at Ragnar.
Can Ragnar make an insight check to see if this is some sort of weird cultural greeting, or who he's been mistaken for, or can he have just a what
Sure,
the fuck's
yeah,
going on check?
Insight.
All right.
Yeah, it's your turn, so make me an insight.
This bitch gonna die. All right, he's gonna drop here to flank for his 2 attacks.
Yep,
28.
that hits.
So she takes 17 radiant damage.
Ow. So you just extend your sword, light come forth, slash.
Right. 16 misses,
leaving
I
a
assume.
pretty sizable gash on her. 16 will miss.
All right,
Well, that was
and
only a
then
spell.
and then he will use his bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon. Does a 20 hit her?
Yes.
Oh shit! His second attack. Actually, both of those attacks should have been made at advantage. Can I make another roll just for the second one?
Yeah, just make me one roll with advantage.
Okay, just a
and we'll
single
count
roll.
the spiritual weapon
Okay.
separately because that doesn't have advantage.
That one doesn't have advantage. You're right. Okay. So his actual second attack, was a crit. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's 19 radiant damage, and then if the 20 hits as a spiritual weapon, that's 12 force damage.
So just these blades of radiant energy from Ragnar just slice her completely at. Are you trying to not kill her or no?
He is definitely trying to not kill her. Yes, definitely 100%.
Okay. Then I want you to make me a charisma saving throw.
A charisma save. Whoops, that shouldn't have been at advantage, so just 25.
25 is plenty. Yeah. You slice the blades through, but you manage to avoid that sort of lethal strike with the spiritual weapon.
Okay.
I mean, she's clearly very heavily bleeding, but she's bleeding out on the ground, not permanently dead.
Okay, so she's unconscious? All right. Does that take us out of initiative?
I mean, unless Ska or Alistar has anything they want to do that counts as initiative-y.
Because
Oh, good.
as soon as she hits the ground, he'll just hold up a fist. Hold nigh! And he'll...
If
Yeah.
all right,
Alistair-
if Ragnar
Alistair
tells him to
Michael
hold,
Jackson's.
then Ska will stop.
Yeah.
But you can tell that she's like physically uncomfortable with stopping.
I told her to stop. It's fine. I told her to stop.
Oh, she's stopped for now.
No, that is also a way that you could do that. Yes, that is indeed an option that you had available to you.
And he'll bend down and expend 5 points of his lay on hands to heal her somewhat.
Okay.
And then wait for the eyes to open, but he's got the tip of his sunblade just above the collarbone.
Hey, we're all friends here. Everything's totally fine.
Make your report.
Uh,
I can translate. Hang on, I speak.
Ah.
I speak Rogan. He means what the hell.
sorry about the sea monster. I was just on my way and things kind of got out of control, but no, that wasn't a relevant part of the story. Everything is totally fine, and I'm glad to see you're doing well.
Alright, you monkey little bitch. Here's what's going to
Hey.
happen.
Uncalled for.
I wasn't talking to you this time, Alistair.
But still.
Now, apparently, some of the individuals here are unaware of the history we share. So, in effort to ensure that everyone is on the same page, I would like an exact accounting of events that have transpired since last you and I laid eyes on each other.
What?
Ragnar, make me a deception check.
Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. I walk up to Scar, and I'm like, are they fucking? Were they fucking? Is that what's going
That's
on?
a 20 on my deception. Honestly, not as bad as it could have
So, okay, I swam away. Then I found a house that happened to be totally open, and I totally didn't do anything to get into. And then, if that house happened to have a houseboat that I took to a mountain that may or may not have had some gold in it. And I may have just a teensy little bit helped myself to that, though I can't find it now, and that's where we are. Oh, and then I woke up in a cage with those ones, gesturing to Alistar and the people that you came in with. We headed down a railroad track and ended up here.
And would you care to confess to these other people I'm travelling with why it was exactly that you were so keen on swimming away in the first place?
Yeah.
I want to hear it come out of your mouth, lass.
Okay, make me a intimidation, I guess.
Okay. 24.
Yeah, though, like, the boat was a little bit sinking, and I thought it might not be the best time to be there, so I just wanted to be not where the boat was sinking and the sea monster was eating, and so I decided to kind of just head on my way. Say, good working with you, I'm finding new employment.
Fair enough.
Honestly, seems quite smart to me. Who is she?
A former associate. And I give her a look like, go ahead, correct me on that. I dare you.
It's not gonna correct you.
Okay.
The minimum damage of your sword would kill her, given you gave her like no health back.
Oh yeah, no, she wasn't getting good treatment. She was getting conscious treatment. Ska, do we still have those manacles?
I have
don't-
some.
I was gonna say I don't think I had them.
Oh, sorry, not like that. No, no, I don't have any. Never mind.
Alright then. Well, click clack. Tie this woman up so she can't get away, would ya?
I have rope. I just don't have manacles.
Could have sworn we had to pay.
I don't know. Jeremy does voices better than I do. This little finger pointy thing. Sure.
There you go.
That's decent. That's click clack sleight of hand.
Yep.
Which I really appreciate. It shows you now what character is rolling when you roll off of someone's sheet.
Yeah, that is really nice. And someone pat her down, make sure she doesn't have any more weapons concealed about her.
Who wants to do that? Make me an investigation roll.
All right, fine, I'll do it. Hang on. Look, do you mind if I? Do you mind? Do you want? Would you rather Cut did it? I mean, Scar. Shit. Fuck.
Go ahead, Alistair.
I was not talking to you.
I don't care.
Well then.
She's definitely cuter than you, though.
Looks at Scar. Eh. There's no accounting for taste.
Hey, with the exception of the scar down half of her face, she's quite attractive.
That's crap.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
Not only do I find whatever she's got on her, she's turned on.
Oh my
Nope.
god.
I doubt
Nope.
it highly.
Nope. That is a different kind of role. Yeah, you find about 600 gold.
Mm-hmm.
3 daggers, one of which has an unusual hilt. With a sort of blue vial embedded into it.
Ooh.
A thieves pack.
Mm-hmm.
And a water skin.
Cool. I sort of lay it all out. Here we go.
Alright. Ragnar will sort of glance over it. He'll pick up the weird dagger. Give it a look.
So it's got a vial sort of embedded into the hilt of it, seeming like you know how sometimes things will have gems in them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Similar to that. It's some
I think
kind of
that
glass.
dagger's
Within
familiar.
it seems to be some sort of solid stone that's lightly glowing a soft blue color that does match things you've seen before.
Oh,
For
okay.
some reason that I can't work out, that dagger is very familiar to me. But, it's probably nothing.
At 8. He'll pick up the purse. Spill it out. Count it.
600 gold, all in gold, neatly bunched together.
He'll put 200 back in. He'll take the other 400, put it in his own pocket, and look at her. That's for damages.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
Oh. All up on our high horse about what's fair now, are we?
Ah. I totally didn't know you'd be around to complain about... That's not a relevant part of the story. Never mind. I didn't say that.
You know, people tend to look very poorly on folks what leave them for dead.
Oh, come on. You were already... Mm.
And most folks would be saying right about now that turnabout is fair play. So I'd count your blessings that we're taking you with us, rather than just leaving you staked out here for your former jailers to re-custodize.
Why the hell do you think I didn't want to save your ass?
I
Okay.
would love some custard right now. Oh, sorry, inappropriate. Sorry, wrong moment.
Don't worry, Alistair. We'll find you some later. Alright, well, we've got ourselves an exit from this room at least. Any questions, concerns, or issues that the rest of the rank and file would like to raise before we get on the next leg of our journey? Kind of just
How do
looking
we know we
openly
can
at
trust
everybody.
her?
If we could trust her, we wouldn't be having her tied up, and we wouldn't be walking her along at sword point, and we wouldn't make sure that she's observed every hour of the day until we can find a place to dump her. Don't worry, you'll still be walking when we leave you.
Ragnar, I'd like you to make me an insight check.
Okay.
Alistair leans over and is like, "Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be more of a mutual dumping."
12. That's actually a pretty good insight for him.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to see this. Sylvester is looking at Laureate with quite a bit of suspicion and pointedly placing himself between Zhaowin and her.
Okay.
I mean, you suspect he has reason to be suspicious given this person just jumped you, but
Right.
that's notable.
Right. Noticeable that he's kind of... And I'm assuming it's sort of kind of bodyguard-esque sort of positioning.
Oh, yeah.
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 Mhm. Yeah.
And he did identify himself as Zhaowin's bodyguard. when
Right.
we
Mhm.
Three met.
Yep.
For... Oh, my God.
All
You
right.
wanted an army.
Yes, and now I've got one. Let's be on our way then. Click-clack, would you be kind enough to take first sentry duty, and if this woman tries to run or escape, just run her through for me?
I don't know how
Oh.
Click Clack feels about that morally, so for right now, he's okay with taking that watch.
Sounds like a plan.
Though I do like that with Click Clack, I can just exposit the thing he eventually gets through to you instead of having to do a character voice.
Perfect.
Oh.
Alright. And then he just quietly thinks to himself, Maywin, would you be willing to lead us onward and scout ahead?
Of course. You hear back. And she sort of puts her hand through. And you notice that once her hand goes through the veil of shadows, it disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the group. This does seem to be some sort of gateway. It's not my specialty, but it doesn't seem actively harmful.
Ragnar will go and just stick
But
his
it
head
most
through.
likely will transport us for somewhere else. Okay.
It's not an
Looking
object,
through,
though, right?
you see.
It's not an object, though, right?
On the object.
No, I'm saying it's not an object. It's like a veil of magic-y stuff.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The side of the cavern seems to have opened up into a pathway that, under closer examination, is shadowy magic veil.
Okay.
It's an event
Then
horizon.
identify will not work.
Nope,
Okay.
probably not.
No. Identify is for items.
Yep.
Yeah, Ragnar, sticking your head through, you see to the other side. You can actually see the cliff face roughly behind you, and that the rest of your body is cloaked in shadow, presumably still on the other side of whatever kind of exit this is. You see above you a blood-red sky filled with smoke plumes. There seem to be several towering structures that in the distance. You're on some sort of, presumably a mountain or hillside. Again, where there's a stone behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Magic. Big passage. And as you sort of lean through to get a better look, you get a sense of finality. Like, if you walk through, you will not be able to walk back.
He will pull his head back in. Well, it's not the most hospitable place I've ever seen, but it's out of the caves at least. And he'll start ushering people through.
Ska wants to be the last one through.
Okay.
She'll make sure everybody else goes before her.
Right. As you say that, or as people are planning to leave, Click Clack will incline his head, still keeping an eye on Laureate. and say in Ragnar's voice, "Mirror." That's not Ragnar's voice. Mirror.
Not entirely. It's a different place, but it's not home yet.
Okay. All right. So, one by one, you and all of the people you have gathered with you travel through this gateway of darkness and find yourselves
Finally. Oh shit.
Oh wow.
You're at a slightly higher angle than this image would anticipate, and it's not clearly London. But yeah, smoke plumes and a blood red sky.
Culturally, I was getting uncomfortable there for a second.
No, it's not.
I also was about to develop an accent that was very sort of, bow bells.
Yes.
Nah. Listen, look, Ragnar. Listen, look, what we do.
I
right,
apologize.
Right.
I can find. It happens to be from a game that is set in London.
No, it's perfect. I think it's perfect.
It's great.
But yeah, several towers, pluming smokestacks. The sky is blood red. And as each of you heads through this portal, well, you get that sense of finality. And as the last person, Scott, sorry, did you want to do something before passing through?
Nope.
Okay. And Scott, as you pass through, the wall becomes just hillside behind you.
Can Ragnar make any sort of check to have a gander at where we might be?
Scott's going to do something slightly weird.
You can make... How were you going about this? Are you
Honestly,
trying to identify the...
he would be trying to identify architecture, probably.
Okay. Just make me a history roll.
And Scott's going to kind of look and see like where they are. And
Best guess, probably not in the parts of the limited pieces of oh god, what's the term? The Seafolk lands that you've been to.
Oh,
before.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Scott's going to take out from her bag the half squash that she's had in there that's now like rotted and gross and whatever, and kind of smear it on the wall a little bit toward the bottom of the wall, kind of like as a marker of we were here.
Okay.
Just
Look
in
for the
case-
desiccated squash guts. That's where we've been.
Yeah, exactly. Just in case we wind up walking around in a circle, we at least have some sort of marker. Maybe, hopefully. So I'm taking the half a rotten squash out of my inventory.
Finally.
Finally.
Did you get that from the goblins way
Yeah,
back?
Yeah.
I think so.
Back
yeah.
when we found that huge ass pile of food.
Yep.
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was
that thing's
gross.
been on like
It
several
smells-
months of
it
sea
smells
voyage
awful.
and all sorts of shit. Yep.
Like, squash is one of those foods that smells particularly bad after a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was not good.
Yeah, good
It was
old rotten
gross.
pumpkin smell. That it's been 2 weeks since Halloween smell.
Yeah. More like a month, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my. Okay. Well, and am I getting the idea that it's the sky is red because sunset, or the sky is red because that's how the sky is here?
It's probably... You don't see the sun in the sky, though it is cloudy. So it very well could be sunset.
Okay.
but you're not entirely sure.
Could I make a nature check to try and divine?
Sure.
Alright. Don't fail me now. Hey, 23.
Yeah, with a 23, this is definitely a color the sky could be because of sunset, and you can see the faint glimmers that it probably is around the time of sunset, but there is definitely something unnatural or magical leading the color to be as it is at this time.
Okay. He is also going to utilize his locate object on his amulet and see what sort of reading he gets. Mainly just looking to see if he's still getting that there's 3 of them, or is there only 1, or is there only 2 of them now?
There seems to still be that sense of a second reading that's a little bit quieter, redundant, not exactly the mirror of your own amulet. And you still get the sense that they are under a gold pile. They don't feel like they're in a different place. However, they're definitely in a different physical direction from you and a different distance from you.
Okay. Well, we seem to have made a bit more progress, and at least we're under open air again. Let's head down to the city. Does anyone recognize this place?
Maywin will sort of give a shrug. It's not my preference, but it's near home. I can get us to the local ranger outpost.
Excellent. And what sort of welcome would you say a group of our composition be likely to find at this here ranger outpost of yours?
She'll look around amongst all of you. And her eyes will sort of linger on Click Clack. As long as that one keeps his loyalties to himself, well, you should all be quite fine.
Oh, Click Clack's quite loyal to himself.
You know that isn't what you meant.
We should be just fine, Maywin. We'll follow your lead.
All right. She leads you down the mountain, and it takes maybe 10-30 minutes to get into the city. Laureate's still tied up.
Yep.
Zelwyn seems to be keeping pretty close to Sylvester, and Sylvester seems to be interfering or making sure that he is between the assassin rogue and the person he's supposed to protect. Helena and Annabelle, the dwarven woman, both seem basically fine. Yep, and that's all of them. And at that point, we're going to head to break.
All right, guys, we will be back in a few.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Breakverse, where our party has just stumbled into a city with a blood red sky and lots of smoke coming off of it. You do notice that Maywin, the only person who seems to directly recognize this place, doesn't seem too surprised by the levels of smoke being put off. Now that you're at the baseline of the city heading through it, not just at the angle of above, you do notice that most of these larger spires to the city have buildings attached to them, and those seem to be the buildings that are letting off this big black smoke. Ragnar, you would guess that there's some sort of smelting or similar, but you don't directly recognize it. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought there. Maywin navigates through the city like she knows exactly where she's going. She heads around twists and turns, and eventually you arrive at a small, somewhat ramshackle building that seems to have been overgrown with ivy and in slight disrepair, or with a sort of bent sign for ranger services. He opens the door and gestures for all of you to come in with her.
Insight check.
Sure.
Do I feel like she is genuine in offering hospitality, or is this a come into my lair?
I would like to do that as well.
I walk into the lair.
I got an 8.
Natural
I
one
got a
for
natural
3.
one. That's great.
So in we
okay.
go.
Yeah. You don't know. So in you go. Inside, there's a woman in the same cloak Maywin has, the ones that Scott previously recognized as being that of the rangers that hang out in the halberd. Will have a name, it's just not up right now. She sort of looks up over her desk, pulling off big, thick-rimmed glasses, and then putting them back on, and then removing a smudge from them, and then returning them to her face. Oh, Maywin, it's good to see you. We lost contact. Oh, well.
It was mind flayers.
Look a little embarrassed at that. How are things progressing? We've still got 3 days till the peak of the first moon, but it's going well. They seem to be discussing something that both of them understand what that means.
Yeah, Ragnar's gonna sort of like poke his head in. And what exactly happens at the peak of the moon?
We'll finally be able to rest easier.
Looks between the two of them, waiting for further explanation.
We can discuss this in the back, and Maywin will head past that desk and into a small room with a number of chairs and tables. There seems to be some fresh water on the table, and a good number of, like, clearly rations, stuff that doesn't go bad easily. Just in one corner in a basket. She'll grab one herself and sit down at one of the chairs.
Does anybody look weird at us, given that we have just dragged a heavily bound woman in along with us?
So the only woman in the front room, and no one's in this back room, was the lady at the desk, who you get the sense isn't able to see you well enough to notice that. Like, she seems to keep, like, trying to clean off her glasses and squinting at everything, but she clearly isn't actually able to see all that well.
Okay.
Bad prescription.
Yeah.
All right then.
I mean, medieval level glasses technology.
Yep.
Like I said, bad prescription.
We will just let that roll and follow Maywin into the back room.
Yeah. Most of the group assumes what has become for you guys somewhat default positions. Sylvester and Zhao whispering to each other on the side, and Amabella just making herself comfortable. Maywin taking a seat. All right. You wanted to know about the first moon.
Hey.
What do you know of the moons as divinities, the faith?
Only a bit. Just about the more accessible aspects. Jack, as the player, knows a bit more because he read the handout, but I kind of don't think
Scott
Ragnar
knows
does.
a little bit, but
Yeah,
Scott is
it
keeping her
entirely
mouth shut.
depends on how much your character would have pursued that information.
Mhm.
Because everything on the moons in that handout is publicly available info.
Yeah. Mhm.
Scott
Maywin
was-
will. So, as you know, this world has 5 moons, each of them a sacred goddess, each with their own place, their own time, and their own powers. It is believed that what moon one is born under or tells of fortune, of personality, of style.
Ragnar just holds up 4 fingers.
I would guess that all of you are in that regard, aren't you? No, perhaps. She looks at Scar a minute. First, maybe third.
Third.
The hunt is sacred to many of us. But the first moon is... She is special. She is first. She offers protection, new beginnings. She is why the year starts with spring and the blooming of new flowers. Okay, I see you making geography faces at me, but you can't argue that the start of the year isn't fairly arbitrary.
You can start the year whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
No, those are meant to be in character Ragnar expressions.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. You've known me long enough to know that that tends to be a pet peeve of mine, but it just wasn't in this situation.
I researched this situation. Thank you very much.
I 100% believe you.
Sorry,
Top-notch.
everyone. Yeah. Harnessing the power of a moon for ritual is, of course, pretty common. But we want to do something bigger. Evil must be sealed away, must be stopped. If it cannot be killed, permanently divorced from us. So my order and others aligned with our thinking have started a ritual. The 5 points for 5 moons around our world, finishing with the first moon, with Relia's blessing, to protect us, to seal the Underdark, their false kingdoms forever.
So, nothing to do with the half ascended then?
Not a term I'm aware of.
Right, we'll just let
But if
that one
there's
pass for now.
anything down there that you fear or need to never encounter again or need to stop existing, this ritual will do it.
Well,
Can I roll insight on that?
Sure.
Let's go for it. Not a natural one this time. 17, much better.
She is being honest and forthright with you, and as far as you can tell, believes what she's saying very strongly. She believes in this ritual and its magic.
Okay.
and what's the name of your order again, Maywin?
We're the Rangers. We wear the red cloaks and protect this land to the north. She gets her order's name right.
Okay.
It's just in
Right.
an entirely different part of my notes.
No problem. Now, when we had been, a little bit of metagame knowledge here, we had been back
Yep.
in after we had disembarked from the Revenge.
Yep.
We met that gnome who gave us information on the half ascended. She said there was the one in the Underdark, and then she said there was the one in the back on the main continent.
Yep.
What city was that in? Do you remember? Because I've got it written in my notes somewhere, but I just trying to.
If it's a specific city that's not in my more cursory notes,
Okay.
it was specifically in the let's pull you out to the world map just so this
Hey,
is
yeah,
a
that'd
little
be great.
easier.
It was in the Confederacy, yeah.
Yeah, it was in the Seraphic Confederacy. She had speculated that it had to do something with the rise of that essentially empire, because that happened, at least from a human perspective, very fast.
Very quickly, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay.
that this basically these spread out kingdoms all fell under one of these less powerful kingdoms.
Okay.
So I think the capital may have been mentioned.
Right.
But
So,
yeah, that's
Ragnar
what
will look back at Maywin. Are we north or south of the Frostwall right now?
Frostwall? I don't think I know that town.
Fair enough. Well. So you're going to seal off the Underdark? Or are you going to destroy it? I'm a bit hazy on the specifics there.
We will seal it off from our world, and it will starve itself with its own plagues and destruction.
Alright, well. And, what of the economic effects of such an endeavour? Have those been taken into consideration?
You're referring to the economic benefits of the endless war, or to keep their plagues away from our kingdoms and below the surface?
Well,
I don't buy into that bull hockey.
It's not so much that as the issue of I'm considering just the resources that you'll be walling yourself away from. I know that my people's minds go quite deep, and there's only a limited aspect that you'd be able to then glean from the mountains and the crust of the world. If you were to somehow magically seal away all the lower reaches.
Those of your people that live in the Underdark or deserve what they get.
Yeah, most of them are just trying to make an honest day's wage. And aye, there's a number of threats down there, sure. But a stalwart defence is key to the operation of a decent dwarven mine. And you can't deny that the resources that we pull from the lower reaches are helpful to contributing to the economic prosperity of the surface world. And that's just
The resources you
aspect.
managed to... It's been considered, we've discussed it. The leaders of this project are, of course, the dwarves. It's not like anyone else would be able to enact something on this largest scale.
Yeah, I suppose
But
that's true.
the wealth and ores all remain above the Underdark. The Underdark is corrupted. You couldn't harvest iron or stone from there. Those places have an intrinsic link to a darkness and a blight and a strange effect on magic. Most of what exists down there isn't profitable from that perspective, except for in being oddity.
Interesting. So, we have the issue of a level of corruption that's pervaded the lower reaches of the subterranean empires. Has anyone thought of just targeting the corruption itself rather than simply walling it away? Seems to me it's a bit like
Would
trying...
be done. We have tried thousands of times.
Psst, psst, Ragnar. I
Alistair.
remembered your name.
Well done, sir.
Also, do we care? I thought we were planning to leave soon.
Yes, that was one of our objectives, was to get back home. But if you recall, the door we came through was down there, and if we get walled away from it, it might be more difficult.
Yeah, but in order to wall something off, you generally have to go near it.
Yes, tell us some more details about this plan of yours.
We volunteer as tribute. We very much support this idea and would like to assist you in its inaction. We will
Alistair,
go to the
roll me a
Underdark.
deception with disadvantage or choose to fail.
I want to choose to fail. Hang on, I'll just see how this comes out.
Wow.
Bards.
Bards, man.
Your enthusiasm is appreciated. It's just... I was just going down for a last check to ensure no counterattack was being mounted and stop whatever might be. It's not... We're very close to done. We'll all be safe soon.
Seems like you've got all your ducks in a row then. And is this, was this initiative founded by these rangers? Or does it come from somewhere higher up the chain?
The Rangers answer to each other, but we've worked with many other organizations. The leadership, both political and religious, of the area has other specialists in that lighted world. Mages, the people responsible for the other great seals.
Sorry, were the sea folk consulted on this?
They were. Or some of them. It's no one speaks for all of the sea folk.
No, that's very fair. Well, definitely puts a new spin on things. I've apparently been a bit further removed from the major events of the world, longer than I thought.
This was kept a secret until it was near completion.
Yeah.
So at this point, Alistair, you can roll. You're the only one who may know this. You can roll me a history check. I want to take this opportunity to apologize for any issues with my sound quality. I know there's like 3 lawnmowers going on outside. I have no control over it.
That's a 6.
Ah, yes.
Never
Not
mind.
good.
None of you
Not
have
good
heard
at
of
that.
this thing at all.
Okay.
It was kept a close secret, but we're so close to done now that, especially given you have recently suffered going down there, I can assure you it won't happen again.
Now, this sealing off, does it have anything to do with the weakness of the interplanar boundaries?
I'm not versed in the details of the magic. I know pieces of it. I know the pieces that I contributed to and constructed. But there is an element of the reason we can seal it off distinctly is that there is an element of what is the Underdark that is not a different plane, but a step apart from above.
Oh, aye, it's definitely a beast of a different colour, that's for certain. Well,
Though it's not, the Underdark itself is not entirely on a weakness in the planes. It just happens to be somewhat separate.
no, there's an element of distinction, I can agree with you there. Well, I suppose if this cart is already hitched to the horse, as it were, all we can do is help push it down the road a bit. If there's anything you need as far as assistance or protection or anything of that matter, we'd probably be at your disposal.
We'll let you know. There are inns in town. We've just got this area here, but if you need somewhere to rest for the night,
Why?
you're welcome to it.
Couldn't hurt. Also, is there an officer of the law about who handles enforcement in this neck of the woods? Excellent.
She raises her hand,
Very good. Very
such
good.
that Annie does. I suppose you could also speak to the guilds.
Well, as someone who's actually got a sight more local knowledge than the rest of us have, what do you suggest we do with this one here? Jerking a finger at Lynette.
I can and take her in for assault if you'd like.
Well, it seems most
But-
of our crimes were done.
Seems like you've already taken the damages you might want. Do you just want to not have to deal with her anymore?
I have a few questions for her, if that's alright, but then I just didn't want to turn her loose on the street and then somehow be held liable for whatever she might get up to afterwards.
Seems like it's a personal thing between you two. I don't see much reason, but
Alright. We'll handle it then.
I have to confer with my allies and
Very well.
let my commander know.
We'll all be taking rooms at a nearby inn. Come on, you lot. Lodging is on me for the next week. Let's go.
I'm in.
Okay.
All right.
And he will find
Do
whatever...
you also take the NPCs with you?
Oh yeah, all the NPCs except
Okay.
if Maywin's staying behind, then we'll let her do her thing, but...
Maywin's staying behind.
Okay.
She's got her own stuff.
Scott will kind of just give a nod of the head to Maywin on her way out.
She'll give you a nod back.
Ragnar will make a note of where the ranger station is located, so that if
Yeah.
he needs to get back to it, he can. And then he'll be
He's-
looking for his best middle-class inn that he can find that has vacancy for, what are we up to now, like 10 people?
I
Yeah,
don't
well,
think it's that many, but I will pull the NPCs onto this sheet just so you have their names available.
Cool.
Thank you.
Wait. Hannah, Chloe, Laureate, Zawin, Sylvester, and Annabelle. Who I now need to fix the names again. Of course.
Of course. Because
But yeah,
Why would it be
as I'm
simple,
doing
right?
that, yeah, it's make me an investigation check.
Okay. This will go great. 16.
Yeah, with the 16, it's not exactly easy, but you do find an inn with a little bit of looking around. I don't know why the character tokens showed up as two different sizes. They're all the same tokens.
yeah, no worries.
But yeah, it's not exactly. You just had a few streets down, and you find a decent looking inn. You can smell some sort of meat being cooked within.
So he will walk inside
Okay.
and flag down a member of the staff.
Alright. A waiter comes up to you. He's a dwarven man. What's gonna help you with?
Ah! Fair afternoon to you, kinsman. So, we're looking for...
He says, kind of side-eyeing the person you have still tied up.
We're looking for lodging for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9... Make that... make it 9 rooms for a week. Do you have vacancy in that number?
We do.
Excellent. How much
All
per night per
separate
room?
rooms?
Yes.
Give me a second to look up the thing.
Page 158 in the player's guide, if you care.
I appreciate it, though I don't have my player's handbook with me.
No worries.
Yeah. 2 gold a night per room per day.
Alright. So that's 18 gold a day. 7. Alright. He just gives him 140 gold.
Okay. I will figure out how many nights worth of 9 rooms that is later. But he'll take it.
Okay.
Go over, hand you 9 keys.
Okay. He'll hand one to everybody but Lorette.
Yeah. Lorette kind of gives you a side eye. Oh, you know who else isn't on this map? Click Clack. Should probably do that. Huh.
Yeah, probably.
And the one token whose name starts with an H doesn't show up a name. At least not for me.
Eliana. Of course. She's always the problem, isn't she?
Yep. There we go.
Alright. Yeah. I believe you also have access to all of their images in character sheets.
I've got Zawin, Maywin, Sylvester, and Amabel.
Okay.
I don't
So you don't have the newer 3.
Right, yeah, I don't have
Correct.
I just don't have the newer 3. But, yeah, he got 9 rooms because he's assuming that Sylvester and Zawin will probably share up. But he will hand the key to Zawin.
Okay. She'll take it.
Okay.
She seems a little bit distracted as she does so.
And, well, consider yourselves lodged for the week. And if you require anything or have any questions, he'll point out which door is his. Just knock, and as long as I'm there, you know where to find me. Ska, Alistar, Click Clack. If you could accompany me and Lorette for a moment, we have some loose ends to tie up. And he'll sort of prod Lorette up to her room.
Yep.
Okay.
There's definitely people that give you strange looks, though no one's inclined to deal with that many people that clearly have weapons at this moment.
If anyone looks too distressed by it, Alistar looks at them and goes, "I'm next."
That's beautiful.
This, 7-8-year-old dwarven girl shrieks, holds her doll close. Sorry. As she runs to hide behind her mom, who gives you all a stink eye.
Just like being back home.
To her mum, not to her.
Hey, you said if anyone looked.
She was the one
Sorry,
who
if anyone
looked.
above the age that would understand what I'd be referring to. I didn't realise I had to specify that. I didn't realise we're bringing kids into this. Jesus.
Yeah, it's
not
almost
okay.
like the universe does not it automatically sexualize everything.
So Ragnar
That's what Alistar's for.
will take custody of Lorette, usher her up to her room, at which point
Yep.
he'll sit her in a chair.
Just for clarification, are the others there or just you?
Anybody of the actual core group who wants to follow is allowed.
Yep. Click Clack
Yes,
goes
absolutely.
to get some food so that
Okay.
there's less I have to explain to Jeremy.
And he
I was
will
absolutely following. So
after everybody's inside, he will shut the door, lock it. Now, you and I are about to have a very frank discussion. Starting with a few questions. What's my brother's name?
Okay, why'd you tie me up?
Skull just
You
put
seem
her
to be-
hand on the handle of her greatsword.
You seem to be under a bit of a misapprehension. You're not asking any of the questions. I'm asking the questions. You're providing the answers. So let's start with something simple. What's my brother's name?
What is Einar up to these days?
Research. What name was I using when you first met me?
Navarre, remind me what your fake name for Ragnar was.
Rogan. Rogan one-handed jar.
Thank you.
Like, I don't think Navarre remembered.
Why were you going by Rogan in any way, Ragnar? Also, why do you still have both of your hands?
Well, it's a pretty poor thing when having a wizard for a brother doesn't occasionally get you a benefit now and again. How did
So
you
you've got
first...
3 hands, one in a jar somewhere?
Souvenir is a souvenir. Now, what stories was it that first made you... Sure. What stories was it that you heard that first made you interested in working with us?
Gotta be the one where you get to the temple before I do. How did you do that again, anyway?
Annette, you've met the sea folk, haven't you? You're all familiar with what individuals of that circumstance are capable of. Aye?
I appreciate the compliment.
And he'll pull out her special dagger, the one that she had, and just slam it into the arm of the chair, point first. Well, I'm one of them now.
Weren't you one of them before?
Wash clean, my girl.
Oh. Oh. Oops. Sorry about stabbing. That was not... I didn't realize you were not... that was a mistake.
It was
Oops.
indeed. So I think with that light on things, you can understand that I am showing an almost unusual quality of patience with you.
Yeah, you could have led with that.
Skull
Well, now that you
growls
know-
under her breath.
I think it would be better if we were to start this interaction over again on a different foot, wouldn't you say?
Of course. Nice to meet ya. I'm Laureate.
Pleasure. I'm still going by Ragnar Einherjar. And I've got 2 functional hands, and I'm not entirely sure where the other one is. And he will take the dagger and cut her loose.
Okay.
And then just kind of underhand toss it back to her.
So catch it by the hilt and put it back in your belt.
Now, your room is paid up for the week. And despite having once again for the first time, I suppose, seeing your capabilities, I can't say that I'm not impressed. But I'd say you sort of owe me one, after a manner of speaking.
Yeah. I definitely owe you. Sorry about that.
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate your candor. Here's 200 more of your gold back.
She will take that.
So, what's your read on Maywin's plan with the Rangers hereabouts?
I mean, one less place for me to magpie it up, but I can't say it's a bad plan. They at least not from a tactical perspective.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Though I think that probably should just bite the bullet and tell you. You know that princess I mentioned? She'll say to Alistar?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's kinda her older sister. So there's a little bit of bad blood there.
Sorry, who's older sister now?
Intriguing.
The girl, I don't know what she's going by now.
Dramatic.
Green cloak, punches things really hard. Has a big bulky body. A guard with the pelt of a wolf.
Oh, Zawin.
Yeah.
You know her younger sister.
I knew her and her older sister, who was so I may have kind of broken into the royal treasury and
It happens.
took a little more than I was planning to take.
Did you sleep with a princess?
Might have included the life of the heir to the throne princess.
Oh.
Oh.
That's
So
much less scandalous. I'm much less interested.
So you may have murdered Zawin's sister, is what you're saying.
It wasn't necessarily a murder. She caught me. She convinced her folks to have me make their contract, with her. And then she had me kill her.
Zawin's sister asked you to kill her.
Ordered me to kill her.
Alright. Ordered you to kill her.
It's probably more of a suicide.
What was Zawin's sister's name, just so we can make this a bit simpler? Or shall we just call her the princess?
High Princess Rue. When I knew Zawin, she was so.
Alright. So, High Princess Rue ordered you to kill her. Do you have any idea what her endgame was?
Not that she told me. I imagine, if I had to take a guess, that was her plan from the minute she found me.
Well, there's
Ah.
just all sorts of things happening in this town, isn't there? All right. And, not being familiar with Ruin Sauce culture, what would you say the familial obligation that the still living princess might feel she's under regarding you and your near future?
I don't know. I imagine she's not terribly happy with me.
I could see that being the case.
But I left right after that. I don't even know if she 100% knows I did it.
Well, that's a lovely little piece of intelligence we'll be keeping to ourselves then. All right. And, are there any other family members of other people that we've picked up along the way who you've been forced to kill? Maywin's great uncle,
Hey,
perhaps, or
it's
maybe
not like
young Miss Chloe's children or something.
No, I don't know. Not like I kill that many people. I'm a magpie. I'm an assassin. I pick up what's left behind. I just take
I
shiny
don't
things
kill
no one
that
will
many
miss.
people. I'm just an assassin. Loretta, you hear yourself talk.
I said magpie.
Followed immediately by the word assassin.
Assassins
Anyway.
don't necessarily
I
kill
said
lots
I'm
of people.
not an assassin.
Alright, well, be that as it may. A little bit of free association then here. If I were to say the term Deeplan's Embassy, is that something you've heard of?
Not really, no.
Frostwall, ring a bell.
Nope.
Halberd or the Seraphic Confederacy? Any recognition whatsoever?
I know what those three words mean.
What
Halberd.
year is it?
I don't keep track of any of the calendars. 42 by the Great Omens, maybe 43 at this point.
And then
Does that-
out of character, would I know what year we were in originally?
So that's the tricky thing. A lot of kingdoms keep their own calendars based usually on like this ruler or this dynasty or we're starting over. Promise for realsies this time we're starting the calendar over and everything. So you're not familiar with the Great Omens calendar. Though by the number 42 you may or may not actually know that one.
I was like, yeah,
That
what
probably
happened
doesn't
just
have
over
any
40 years
current
ago?
calendar because before hanging out with Ragnar and those, you have been mostly in the woods on your own for.
I was in the woods on my own for about a year.
And your tribe didn't keep a calendar. I mean, you keep seasons, but that's different. That's the moon.
That's just a matter of pragmatism. You kind of need to know when
Yeah.
it's going to start snowing.
Yeah.
You need to know when to harvest the crops.
Exactly.
You know how old you are, roughly.
Yep. Okay.
94 summers, or however long it's been for Scott. I don't know.
I think it's more than that.
Probably. She's an elf.
41.
Oh,
She's young.
she's a baby. And has anybody actually given us the name of this city that we find ourselves in?
I don't know. I didn't hear one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go have a talk with Zawin and Sylvester. I'd suggest you keep as low a profile as you can until we figure out exactly what our next objective is.
Okay. I want you to all roll me history checks.
Okay. I got a 14.
Okay, those. I got an 18.
You all know that the frost wall has been in existence for a few thousand years at this point,
Right.
by your reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know it was made. It's not something that has always existed,
Right.
but it's been around longer than the oldest people's generations by a decent stretch.
Yeah. Like, there's probably a few dragons out there that remember when it wasn't there, but...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's probably some dragons who are like, oh, remember when they made that? That was cute.
Wasn't that adorable? All those little mortal races running around, playing in the snow.
Yeah, there's probably a few liches, but like, in terms of timeline, that's
Yeah,
just
in
something
terms of regular people. Alright, well, I suppose we should run out and get the lay of the land. And Ragnar is going to go see if he can find Zawin and Sylvester.
Okay. Yeah, they're actually probably down at the tavern grabbing dinner.
Okay. Ragnar will drag a chair over. So, just for, and just in order to get everything on the table, I've managed to smooth things over with Lorette, so if you see her out and walking around, no need to be alarmed. And I wanted to ask, obviously you two have a bit of an arrangement between yourselves. Is it anything we should be aware of or knowledgeable about so that we can make life easier for the pair of yous?
Well, sort of look to each other. Zawin will whisper something to Sylvester and he'll speak up. Nothing we can't handle ourselves.
Do you have any questions for me then?
What's your objective?
Well, considering that I blundered through a portal into the Underdark, and I've no idea which direction home is from here, I'm slightly anxious to get back there when I possibly can. So, that's going to be my primary objective as of this point. Although if you hear any rumours about anything called a Half Ascended, definitely funnel that information to me. I've a bit of a bone to pick with a few of those individuals.
They'll look to each other. Zawin will shrug. That thing that they're planning, a great seal.
Aye.
How much do you know about those in general?
Very little. Would you care to educate me?
The great seals, there's about 8 in existence that I know of. They're strong, ancient, eternal forms of magic that are upkept through ritual and tradition to seal away the greatest and most dangerous of evils.
Right.
What I do know is those never come without a price. And it's a price that keeps being paid as long as the seal remains intact. Now,
Are we talking like...
that's sometimes worth paying.
Are we talking like continuous mortal sacrifices? Are we talking what, price-wise?
It depends on the seal. It's a principle of exchange.
Huh.
I don't know what the cost of this would be. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the price is worth paying. Ever hear the children's stories about a Tarrasque?
Aye.
According to legend, a seal keeps that thing asleep, and, well, all the better for it. I like having a planet.
All right.
I like having a plane of existence. It's just that doesn't mean the cost is nothing.
Reasonable.
This is the most Zawin has ever spoken.
Yeah.
Like you've known her for a few days.
So what brings someone as knowledgeable as yourself about such matters out into the world?
We look to each other. I have something I have to find. And I need to find... You need to stay away from a place that is no longer safe for me.
Something or someone?
Both.
Usually is. Well, I'm a reasonably well-travelled man, so if you're looking for information, I'd be happy to search through my memory, such as it is, and let you know if I've heard anything, if you come up short in your own investigations.
It's something only I would recognize.
Huh, well, that definitely removes me from candidacy then, I suppose.
I get the sense your friend, the flighty one we just met, at one point might have had the potential.
Brief cut to Alistair. Ooh, squirrel.
He's got quite a bit of potential for a number of things, yes. And Ragnar gets this just brief 1,000-yard stare for a minute. And then kind of snaps back. Well, you know where to find me if you need anything. And we'll definitely let you know before we move on to wherever our next location places us.
Sylvester will start taking the lead again. If you need extra muscle, we'd be happy to accompany you. Mostly, we just intend to keep moving.
Fair enough. Well, I think this Great Seal business does bear a bit of further investigation. And, but if it turns out that transient life is what everybody's leading, then so be it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go see a man about a pirate. And he gets up and walks out the door.
All right. There you go. Actually, let's cut to the other two real fast. Scott, Alistar, what you two doing?
So I think I've made friends with the musical one. Although I thought that about the stabby one, but then she started stabbing. I don't know.
Well, you know, you never really know someone until you fight with them.
That's the most you thing you've ever said.
Thanks.
I would agree, but I would change. Hang on. I would change 4 letters. Well, technically I get rid of 1, but still.
And Scott just kind of looks very confused. What letters would you change?
The I, the G, the H, and the T.
No, still.
Don't worry about it.
You make
Not a
my
problem.
head hurt. Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
go get food.
Yeah, okay. I haven't eaten in about 10 seconds.
Exactly. And we'll go downstairs to get food.
All right. Okay. Ragnar, where are you headed?
So Ragnar is going to look for a street performer. Preferably a busker of some sort.
Yeah, okay. Roll me an investigation roll.
Okay. 19.
Yeah. All right. After a little bit of walking, you end up in the slightly more raucous district, where, again, these towering buildings with smoke are basically everywhere in this city. But you find don't necessarily find anyone that's playing instruments out on the street, but you find a woman with sort of a long ribbon that he flicks around and doing occasional hips and gymnastics for the audience, for a small audience.
Okay. He's scanning around then, trying to get an idea if there's any other performers in this area. Specifically, he's looking for like a balladeer or a skald or somebody like that. Somebody who basically sings stories.
Okay.
He feels like he's in the right district now.
Yeah. Why don't you make me a perception check?
Okay. 14.
You see one other guy sort of down the street who seems to be going through some melody. He's on a harp. But as you glance back at the gymnast girl, you do notice that as she goes, she narrates. She does seem to be telling stories through her dance.
Okay. So he'll kind of try and divert his attention between the two, trying to get... But basically what he's wanting to do is look for someone who he can ask, hey, do you have any stories of the Iron Harrier brothers and some of the famous pirates and shit like that? Just to try and figure out what his iteration got up to in this reality.
I mean, either of them seems reasonable. One of them clearly has an audience already. One of them is clearly entirely alone.
He'll go to the alone one first, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he'll wander down to
the
that
guy with the heart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He'll sort of look up and pick up the tune slightly as you get there.
Hey, have any songs about the great pirates? Of the sea folk myself, and I'm feeling a bit homesick for the coast.
He'll sort of change the tune to one that is more something you would recognize from your homeland. I know quite a few stories about all things, my friend. And what are you looking for?
There's a was a great one that I heard, probably about 2-3 years back. What were their names? The Einherja brothers. Sailed on the Branwen, I think the name of the ship was.
Okay. He'll give you a knowing wink and start up a long, flowery song about the Einherja brothers, brave and earnest, and their quests upon the sea on the Bronwyn. Make me an insight roll.
I was going to say, this guy is obviously just making it up as he goes along. 10!
He clearly is a little bit playing plug and play.
Right.
He's taking the details you've given him, judging what you seem to approve most of, and aiming the story in that direction.
Okay. He'll give him a nod and a grin and flip him a gold coin once the song's over, and then give him a bit of a wave and head on back down the other direction.
Okay. Yeah. This woman and the red dragon roared in darkness and shame as the gnomes laid their contraptions down to catch the dragon's rabbit brothers. And continues the story she's doing for this small audience.
Right. He'll stop and listen, watch, and if she gets to a point where sort of she's coming to the conclusion, he'll sort of wait for an opening to see if she takes suggestions from the audience or not.
Yeah. She does seem to be fairly near the conclusion. She seems to be telling the story of and as she tells the story, she does use her ribbon dancing to sort of accent it. It's actually kind of impressive. This is usually a 2-man type of show that she's doing, narrator and dancer, or several dancers. But seems to be about a dragon that was laying lots of fox babies and rabbit babies and other small mammal babies, and the clever gnomes that had to stop the dragon from doing that.
Right. Because gnomes like small animals.
Gnomes like small animals, but gnomes do not like their houses being full to the brim with this fluffy rabbit.
Oh, okay. So it's the Breakverse version of Trouble with Tribbles. Got it.
That's not where I was going with this, but I get that reference, so sure. Yeah. But she does sort of pause at the end of her story.
Yep. And I assume everybody's flicking in their coins and whatnot, right? Yeah. He'll toss in
coins.
Right. He'll toss in
which people are tossing towards a hat, and she snatches each of them up with the ribbon's edge.
Nice.
Edge to her hand as they go for the bucket.
All right. Yeah, he'll try and get 2 gold coins into the bucket and see if he can get them past her.
Make me ranged attack rolls without proficiency.
So basically just dexterity checks. That's a 7 and a 19.
All right, the 7 she doesn't need to deflect. That's below her DC.
Yep.
See if she can catch that. Yeah, you managed to get one in, and she kind of gives you a nod and leans down to scoop it up with her foot.
To be fair, you rolled a d10, not a d20. I don't know if...
Oh. It is supposed to be a skill check.
Okay,
so
yeah, I figured it was probably... Because otherwise she is way handicapping
you
herself.
Still got it.
All right, yeah!
Yep.
And then he'll just cup his hand...
The same...
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
technically, yeah. He'll just kind of cup his hands around his mouth then. Do you know any stories of the Einherjar brothers?
She'll give you sort of a wink and a nod. Well, those are some dark tales, my friend. And sort of flicks the ribbons, and it changes from like a golden blue to a black color.
Mm-hmm.
Or as she continues to. Are you sure you want to hear such a scary story tonight?
You're speaking my language, ma'am.
And she begins her next dancing story on the Einherjar brothers. After her ribbon has changed color and she starts to speak, the glimmering golds and pinks of her outfit start to shimmer, her matching the black of the ribbon. The sleeves of her dress getting longer, seemingly no more inhibiting her movement. But as that story begins, this story ends. And that is where we're going to leave it for tonight.
All right. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.